Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in again. My name is Deogracious Dube. If it is your first time viewing, do not forget to subscribe, and if you enjoy my content, don't forget to give it a huge thumbs up. And if you are returning, well, thank you so much for coming back again. So today's video is a very simple video, very quick as well. It is an eyebrow tutorial. I have made a few promises to some people to before we continue, guys, like, I'm wearing these lashes and they're so long and I feel, I don't know if they suit me. I feel kind of awkward niana in them. There we back. I feel a little bit, I don't know, but I thought I thought I should just try something new. So just a moment for the lashes. I think they're kind of cute. I don't know, you guys let me know in the description what you think. Do you think they're nice or not? I don't really think it's me. It's not really my style, but you know, just trying different things. Anyway, back to the video. I recorded an eyebrow tutorial. I made a few promises to some people to record this video, and that was like a few weeks ago, and I'm so sorry for taking so long, but I do hope you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna keep it very short and sweet. I hope, not very short, not too short I mean, but hopefully very sweet. And let me just get straight into this video. I don't want to talk for too much. Let me just get straight into the content. Don't forget to subscribe if you do enjoy this content. And we're almost at 1,000, and I'm excited. But stay tuned for the rest of this video. Bye. Mwah. Okay, so I have zoomed into my face so that you guys can see nicely, and just to make this video a little bit more interesting, I'm going to be doing a bit of eyebrow grooming as well. There's like a lot of eyebrow tutorials out there. What I do is not that special from what a lot of other people do, but I know that you guys were still interested to seeing how I do my eyebrows, so I'm going to show you guys how I do the grooming as well, not just the shaping of the eyebrows, etc. So the first thing that I do, I'm just gonna take this is a pencil that I use. This is a Rimmel pencil in the color dark brown. Is the Rimmel eyebrow pencil. I get this at Clicks or at Discount, whichever one has stock really, because they're more or less I think the same price. And the first thing I'm gonna do is just brush up my eyebrow hairs. So I'm just using my mirror here. So the first thing I'm going to do is just brush up my eyebrow hairs like that. So I have long ass eyebrow hairs. So I usually brush them up and then brush them to the side like that. But I also like to just take my scissors and trim them a little bit, because like I said, they are quite long. So the trimming does really help a lot. So just brush them up, and then wherever you feel like it's too long, I hope this is focused enough. Okay, so you just brush it up, and then wherever you feel like it's too long, that is where you are going to trim. So trim there and a little bit there. It's nothing too hectic. And then sometimes what I also do is brush them down like that, and then that looks super weird. So brush them down like that, and then I trim the bottom as well. All right, there we go. So that just looks a little bit neater. Like, it's gonna make your life a little bit easier when you're doing your eyebrows. So I'm just gonna do the same this side. I brush it up first. So I just keep looking because my camera has a tendency to go in and out of focus like a lot. And then just trim a little bit at the top. And then the bottom, and then I just trim the bottom of it. Then I'm gonna go in with a razor. Now this is what I use to trim my eyebrows. I use a razor. Some people like to use tweezers. Some people go for threading or waxing. I am too scared of pain, and this I find much easier, so I do this myself. I'll probably do it like twice a week. That's the only downside. If you use a razor, then it grows back quickly, but I don't mind because it literally takes me like 20 seconds or less to do. So I'm just going to see where my eyebrow hairs have grown out, and I can see there's like a bit of hair over here and a bit down here. So I'm just gonna remove that, and like I said, I just use a normal razor. So I just like to kind of pull the skin back like that, and then, so the only thing with a razor is that it can be very dangerous. So please, if you're going to attempt this, just proceed with caution. I have cut myself a few times, but that was like years ago. I don't do it anymore, but I have done it. Just letting you know. Disclaimer. Be careful, because these things are very, very sharp. And then I also sometimes just do the top, because I also have like from my hairline all the way down, there kind of like isn't a break. So sometimes I do remove hair from the top as well, because yeah, I have a little situation. So I just do it sometimes, not all the time. Okay, so the brows are now trimmed, as you can see. I don't know if you can see very well, but yeah, the brows are now trimmed. And then, like I said, I use this Rimmel eyebrow pencil, and this I buy at Clicks or Dischem. And then I also use concealer for my eyebrows. So this is just a concealer palette from MAC Cosmetics, but you don't have to get a whole palette. This has like 6 different concealers. You don't need 6 different concealers. You only literally just need the one color for yourself. And I would say like a nice guideline is to go 2 or 3 shades lighter than your complexion. I think not more than like 3 shades lighter, because then it might look a little bit gray. That's basically all that you need really, and then some foundation. Okay, so first things first with the eyebrows, just like a nice rule which I learned while I was still studying makeup, when you're doing your eyebrows, is to kind of like place, I'd say like a straight object like right over there. That kind of gives you a guideline of how far your eyebrow should go. So I would say don't ever like go past, you know, where this pencil is, because it is gonna like drag the face down, if you get what I mean. And then if you place that very same straight object or pencil or ruler or whatever it is, just like on this hook of your nose over here, if you place it right over there, that kind of like gives you a guideline of how far not to go in. What English is failing me? It gives you a guideline of where to stop when you're doing your eyebrows. So kind of like don't go further than there. I know there was a time when this was like a trend to, you know, get the brows to like meet or something. I find it so, I really don't like it, so I don't do it. And then just a nice rule to know kind of like where the highest point of your eyebrow is if you look straight ahead and then you place that very same straight object like at the end of your pupil. That kind of gives you like a guideline of, you know, the highest point of your eyebrow. But these are all guidelines, but they really do help. But yeah, eyebrows are like personal preference, so it's up to you how you like to do your brows really. Okay, so the first thing that I do is that I brush my brows up. And I don't want to, so I brush them up. Okay, and then since my eyebrows are quite full from like, I'd say about halfway, or at least the first third of the eyebrow, I don't do too much of it. Yeah, I usually focus more on the second half of my eyebrow, even the same this side as well. So over here I'd very lightly just go over with a pencil. And then now I am using like ticking motions. So you make like ticking motions. So it's almost like, you know, your eyebrow hairs, it's like little hairs. So the same thing when you filling them in with a pencil as well. You're just doing small little hairs basically. And you press very, very lightly. You should press very, very lightly when you're doing your eyebrows. It's better to press lightly, and then you can always go darker if you must. But if you go dark straight away, sometimes it's difficult to reverse that and, like, you know, to go light after that. So I just have 2 mirrors, so that's why I'm looking over here as well. There's different things that you can use on your eyebrows. You can use an eyebrow pencil, you can use an eyebrow gel. It just really depends on what you like. I prefer a pencil. Sometimes I do use a gel, but like hardly ever. And then sometimes I'll also just use powder as well, but hardly ever, like an eyeshadow basically. But again, hardly ever. I usually just use my pencil. And yes, I like to frown sometimes when I do my brows. I find that it helps. So I'll find myself like sitting and frowning doing the brows. And then a little bit at the front, like I said earlier. And then you just brush it up. So when I'm done with this, I prefer to brush it because then I find that it softens it so that it doesn't look as harsh or as like drawn on. It kind of looks more natural because it looks softer. Okay, so now that this has been done, and I am a tongue twister today. So now that this part has been done, I'm now gonna go in with concealer, and I use the shade NC42 or sometimes NC41 from MAC, the MAC Studio Fix concealer or Studio Concealer, I'm not sure, but basically it's the MAC Studio Concealer Fix thing. It's just the concealer from MAC, okay? And it is the cream concealer. So if you do get this one, I use the shade just the guideline. If you're more or less my complexion, I use medium deep. Okay, so then I also use a concealer brush, and this I buy at Clicks. This is the best one for me. Some people use angle brushes. I prefer to use a concealer brush. I find it much easier, and I feel like I have better control when I use a concealer brush as opposed to using an angle brush. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is basically I'm just gonna go under my brow, and I'm using this to clean up under my eyebrow. It also helps your eyebrows to like stand out really well, and basically it's to highlight, so it's gonna make your eyebrows stand out and look really neat. And then I just place it flat on my skin, and then I just glide along. So this really helps, like just getting the shape that you want. It really helps clean up the eyebrows beautifully. And I always make my concealer like go past the actual eyebrow. So over here it goes past the eyebrow, and over here as well it goes past the eyebrow. And then the same thing on the other side. So I like to use the tip of this. You guys can see I'm kind of like using the tip of this to help me straighten my line as much as possible. Okay, so there I have the bottom done. And then for the top, I like to use foundation. And the reason why I use foundation is because this is a lighter color than my complexion, as you can see. And if you use it at the top, it sometimes creates that halo effect, which I don't really like, and it's sometimes difficult to get rid of that. Even if you try and blend with foundation, like it doesn't always blend easily. So I'm just going to be using this foundation. This is the LA Girl Pro Coverage, and I actually haven't used this in quite a while, but since like it's getting cooler now, I found myself just wanting to use it again, and yeah, realizing how nice it is all over again. So I think it's definitely more of a winter foundation because it's not so matte. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm doing the exact same thing, except I'm doing it at the top now. And this, I think, is a bit more tricky than doing the bottom. But basically for this step, I place my brush like flat on the skin, and then I just glide it along. So, just like that. So it really helps is to just place it flat as much as possible. Like don't try and work this way, like rather work flat that way, if you get what I mean. So the first eyebrow is done. And then also when I do my eyebrows over here, I don't take the concealer like all the way that way like I do at the bottom, and that's because I like to leave this part like free of concealer, just because it so that it has more like of a natural look, if you get what I mean. So it kind of like looks like it's untouched, so to say, kind of like how your own natural eyebrow looks, so that you don't get that square eyebrow. I'm sure you guys have seen those square eyebrows. If I can find a picture, I will insert a picture, but basically it's just to make sure that you don't have like that square looking eyebrow. So the exact same thing this side. Okay, so we're almost done with the brows, and I'm just going to brush it up. So now this is a step when you normally would use an eyebrow gel. If you have an eyebrow gel, and if you prefer to use an eyebrow gel that basically sets the eyebrows, I don't always do it, especially if my eyebrows have been trimmed like I just did. So even if they budge, or even if, you know, the hairs move about, it's not really going to show at the top or the bottom because I have trimmed them. So most of the times when I do use a brow gel, it's usually when my eyebrows have not been trimmed and I'm worried that, you know, they might go over a little bit. So what I normally do, just to conceal the rest of this concealer, to blend the rest of this concealer, is that I normally just put a little bit more on my eyelids, and then I just blend it with the rest of the eye. But this is normally my eyeshadow base anyway, so. And then same thing at the top as well. And now this is what makes it so cool, or like rather so much easier if you actually used a foundation, is that when you blend it on your forehead, it actually blends into the rest of your skin, and you don't have to worry about having halo eyebrows. Yeah, because those are not cute, like at all. And then what I like to do over here, I like to take my finger or my thumb and just kind of press in the beginning of the brow. It's just to get rid of that very, you know, straight line eyebrow, if you get what I mean. So this is going to help your eyebrows look a lot more natural. I'm just going to show you guys the difference just now. So I do that, and then I brush it out. And then I'm just going to come a little bit closer. I hope that's clear enough, so you can kind of see the difference between this eyebrow and that eyebrow. This one doesn't look like, you know, as so-called perfect. It looks a lot more natural, and then this one looks a little bit more artificial. This looks a bit more natural, so that's why I like to take my finger and just tap, especially right at the beginning, and I just kind of do that as well, and just to make it look a little bit less structured. Okay, so I'm done. That is my eyebrow tutorial. Very easy, very simple, as you guys have seen. But like, if you don't find it that easy or that simple, I suggest you just practice. The first few times I did it, I also didn't get it right, and this is like over the years, you know, and it does change very often. So again, this is just how I do it and my guidelines, but it is personal preference, and sometimes it really does depend on the shape of your eyebrows. This is what I like, this is what works for me, and I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did enjoy this video, do not forget to give it a huge thumbs up, and of course do not forget to subscribe. And thank you so much for tuning in again. Mwah. Love you guys. Bye.